Hi everyone, it's Yelena from The Healing Light, and today I wanted to talk to you about it that the storms don't last. And the storms are just temporarily here and they're not going to last forever. And sometimes the storms come in for you, which means it's like a stale time, and it's actually like, it feels like it's a negative time and you just can't recover. You need to say to yourself, it's teaching me to have got a self-awareness, self-reflecting, and get a pen and a paper and write it down things. What is it showing you? What can you learn from all of this? What happened to you in your life? And what could you do better? So storms don't last. Like in the nature, storms don't last. They're there, they're fierce, is it a monsoon? Is it any kind of a storm? The winds, they don't last for weeks to end. They really don't. But as a human beings, as soon as there's something like dark and it's not happening the way how we want to, we're just thinking that the whole world is falling apart. The whole world is not falling apart. Maybe it's just doing something to change it. If you look at it in a nature, let's go say I live in Australia currently, so I'll compare it to one particular tree where when a seed pod falls down on a floor, it needs a fire. So the bushfire has to happen, that seeds pop out and that actually can, the rain will happen and it will sprout. So we need a fire to actually burn this pot, to actually open up, to get the seeds out. And we think fire is horrible. We have bushfires in Australia. It's quite hot here. But Mother Nature needs this to actually get the seeds out like this. Otherwise, we're not going to ever have that tree here. So it's not always bad. We just look at it because we as humans, we have got houses here in the nature. We just look at it as it's all about us. It doesn't suit us. But the Mother Nature is suited perfectly well before we came along. So you need to look at it, things from different perspective, not just from yours. You have to look at it from other people's perspective, and it could be just from Mother Nature's perspective. And maybe something has to be destroyed before it can be built something new, because we need to destroy it. We need to actually look at that reflection, what happened to us if it was a past relationship, for example. And we need to sit back and look at it and heal it, and not just jump to another relationship. And we need to look at it, what's happening, why did it happen, what could I learn from it, and what do I actually stand for it. For me, the most important things are boundaries. And you hear me, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And you can download a freebie from my website regarding boundaries. What I believe the boundaries are all about: self-love, self-respect. If you don't know what you want and what you stand for in your life, how the other people will vibrate or match that? They're not going to know what to do because you're not having a steady boundaries. You don't know what you want and what you stand for. So please go to the website, download them, and think of these: storms don't last forever. At the time of the storms, I say ground yourself. Go barefoot on the grass, number one. Number two, go to the nature, go for walks. You hear me saying this all the time. Go for walk, go for nature. Boys and women too, I have to say that. Some of them go for motorbike rides. I like to go for my bike rides, like push bike. So go for Mother Nature, go and do something. Sometimes we need to express that anger. So do you want to go and sign up for the kickboxing class? Do you want to do something like play tennis? Like do something just to get an anger, a bit of extra out. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we have got a build up of it and we don't want to pass it on to our family members because it's nothing to do with them. It's just build up in us. You don't want to bring that stuff home, because what is your home? Your home is your sanctuary, your temple, your peaceful place where you want to reside and where you want to have got a good time and where you want to feel confident and comfortable, and not where you just bringing all the darkness and anger out. You need to release it, and release it before you enter your home, because your home is just so beautiful. And that's why I usually say we should not be starting in a bedroom, because bedroom is something peaceful. And to have got a peaceful sleep, you want to have a peaceful things in it. And not to have things where we're using our brains so much. So in the times of the storm, sit back, get a glass of tea, glass of wine if you wanted to, get pen and a paper, start writing things, start having that awareness. Why did this storm happen? What is it that it's happening and why? And what can you learn from it? Not everything is so bad and doom and gloom. It's just maybe just teaching you to have self-reflection. And then we do after that, reset, realign, recharge. That's what it's all about. And you can't push it. Sometimes the healing process takes time, and whatever it takes for you a bit longer than it does for other people. There is no time limit. But inner work, it's constant, continuous work. It's not like one day I'll be working and I expect a huge amounts of results. What you put in there, that's what you get out. What is in as your ingredient in that pot? What kind of ingredients are you putting? Are you doing the best you can, or could you push yourself a bit more? And one thing what I learned is when I was doing the sport, when I was younger, I was doing synchronized swimming for years to end. And before the war came in my country, I was doing it, and then I stopped when the war came along. So when you're a sports person, we learn to push ourselves, and especially I was in a communist country, so we would have trained, and I would have said to my trainer, my legs are so numb, I can't even straighten up my toes, like to walk normally. Like she would have to pull us out of the pool, how tired we would be, and our legs was completely numb, and arms too, in a synchronized swimming. And the moment you feel like you can't do it is actually the moment when you have to say to your brain, you can do it. You have to just push yourself that extra mile, extra push to get through it. That's when you have to do it. So when we don't feel like for meditating, when we don't feel like for journaling, when we don't feel like for things to do, and we're going all of that based on our emotions, like what are they giving us? It's like, oh, I don't feel like doing it. That's when you have to turn emotions in motions and say, yes, I can do it. Yes, I will conquer this. Yes, I can push myself a bit more and train. As a sports people, we learn to like push ourselves. It's like so many times we could have just give up. Like my training was so early in the morning, 6 days a week. School was 1 week in the afternoon, 1 week in the morning. That's how it was back in my country. Do you think that I felt like sometimes always getting up 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning and go to the pools and train for hours? No, but you have to push yourself. This is what you chose to do. You have to push yourself. And the moment when I don't feel like for meditating is the moment when I say to myself, if the moment of don't feel like for it comes in, I just go, that's perfectly fine, and I'm going to do it and allocate my time to do it. Because when you don't feel like for something, that's exactly when you break that pattern of I can do it. So when you don't feel like for it, just equally say to yourself, I can do it, and push yourself for it. Because if you don't push yourself, nobody else will going to do it for you. Yes, you can get a coach. Yes, you can get a mentor and a therapist and everyone else, but we're not next to you 24 hours, 7 days a week. I do message a lot to my clients. I try to be on top of everyone. But on the end of the day, and I give you plenty of homework, you need to say to yourself and put it as affirmation on a fridge. The moment I don't feel like doing something is the moment when I will say to myself, yes, I can do it. And then you'll come and conquer the mountain, and you'll feel amazing. You'll feel amazing. I guarantee you'll feel amazing. So I want you to think of that today. Love and light to everyone. I'm wishing you a beautiful, amazing, abundant day, and sending you my vibration of the energy of absolutely happiness and content. Have a beautiful day.